Before the praise, before the gold and drums, I was just Adagba, the poor hunter from the outskirts of a beat village. I lived in a one-room mud house, with a thatched roof that leaked every time it rained. I had no wife, no cows, no land. Just a spear, a dog named Okpoko, and the forest. Every day, I rose before the rooster crowed. I would walk barefoot for miles into the thickest parts of the forest, guided only by instinct and the wind. My friend, Oyai, would sometimes follow. He never entered the bush, though. He feared wild things. He would wait by the edge, gather firewood, and watch for my return. Oyai and I were close. We had grown up together, shared the same calabash to eat, played under the mango trees as boys. He was funny, full of jokes, and clever with stories. Whenever I returned from the forest with meat, we would roast it by the fire. He always said, "Adagba, your spear is the sharpest in all of our beat." At first, he was happy for me. We would walk to the market together. I would carry fresh antelope hide, and he would help me sell it to travelers and traders who came through the village path. Slowly, I started making money. One morning, I faced a massive wild boar. It had tusks like knives and eyes that burned red. I danced with it in the dust, me with my spear, it with its rage. It charged. I sidestepped and drove my weapon through its chest. That kill made my name known 2 villages away. Another time, I climbed the hills of Okpoka and met a black panther in a cave. It leapt at me, and Okpoko, my dog, attacked it midair. We fought together, me, the spear, and the dog, and brought back its skin. I found it drinking at a quiet river, massive, golden, powerful. My spear had broken on the last hunt. I had only my knife. The lion roared. I didn't run. We circled. When it pounced, I grabbed its mane, stabbed it again and again. It clawed my back. I still have the scars. But I returned to Ogbit with a lion's head. The king heard of it. The Oba of Ogbit sent guards to bring me to the palace. I dressed in borrowed wrappers. I stood before the king. He asked, "Are you the lion killer?" I nodded. He smiled. "Come and eat." That day, I tasted meat with spice and drank palm wine from golden cups. I gave the king the lion's teeth. He said, "From now on, you are not a common hunter. You are Adagba the mighty." He gave me land near the stream. From there, my life changed. I built 3 houses. I bought cows, goats, and camels. I had over 40 slaves, men who worked my farms, women who cleaned my compound. I was invited to weddings, naming ceremonies, funerals. Chiefs asked me for favors. I wore the skins of rare animals. My name was sung in markets. Yet, I never forgot Oyai. I gave him land beside mine. I gave him 3 slaves. I gave him food, wrappers, money, even one of my horses. We still ate together, laughed, traveled to festivals. But slowly, his eyes changed. Oya began to envy me. I caught him watching me too long. He no longer clapped when I returned from a hunt. He no longer smiled when my name was shouted in the palace. He began to talk less. When we went to the stream, he would not fetch water. He just stared. I asked him once, "Oyai, what is wrong?" He said, "Nothing, Adagba. I am just tired." But I saw it. He wanted what I had. One morning, he came running. "There's a great hunting contest in the land of Okpa. 7 villages away. The prize is gold and honor. The king there will be watching." I trusted him. I agreed. We set off the next day. I paid for our horses. I paid for his wrappers. I hired servants. I bought food for the journey, gave him gifts to present to the chiefs of Okpa. Oya brought nothing. I didn't mind. When we arrived in Okpa, I gave gold to the widows. I gave cows to the old men. I gave wrappers to the king. I knelt before the throne and said, Your Majesty, accept these skins from a hunter of a beat. The people loved me. The contest began. Every day, hunters wrestled. Some fell. Some broke bones. I defeated all. I used no magic, just my hands. I flicked men twice my size. I carried logs. I shot arrows blindfolded. The people chanted my name. By the 5th day, the king of Okpa said, If you win the last match, I will call you son. But Oyai, his face was torn. While I prepared for the final round, Oyai met 3 herbalists. He begged them, Kill Adagba. The first said, No. His blood is stronger than thunder. The second said, He is protected by the forest spirits. But the third, an old one with red eyes, said, Bring him the pot of death. It looks like the pot of life. Only the goddess of the forest can tell the difference. He told Oyai, Enter the dark path. Seek the pots. Trick the goddess. Poison your friend. That night, I told the villagers, Tomorrow is the final day. Tonight, I will enter the forest and kill the biggest animal for the feast. They clapped. They sang. I went into the forest. At the same time, Oyai took another route. As he entered the bush, he saw an old woman, weak and trembling, holding a begging bowl. Please, give me coin. I am hungry. Oyai laughed. What will you buy in the forest? She said, I will return to the village. He snatched her bow, pushed her down. She hit her head on a tree branch. He didn't look back. Hours later, he reached a fork in the forest, 2 paths. He became confused. Another old woman appeared, dressed differently. He asked, Which road leads to the pots? She pointed to the left. Thank you, he said. He followed it. Forever. For it was the path of forgetfulness. A place where memories vanish. A place where men wander until they forget their own names. Oyai never returned. That night, I killed a white buffalo. The first seen in 20 seasons. I returned to the village, dragging it alone. The people danced till their feet bled. We roasted the meat. The smell filled the air. I won the final contest the next day. The king hugged me. Adagba, from today, you are Prince of Okpa. But Oyai, gone. Days passed. I searched the forest. Nothing. Then the first herbalist came to me. Your friend sought your death, he said. But the forest chose justice. I closed my eyes. I didn't cry. I only whispered, greed is a curse that eats its own master. I returned to Upbeat. I still hunt. Still give. But now I walk alone. They say Oya still walks in the forest, forgotten by time. But me, I walk in the hearts of my people.